Urban Revolution Radio's Your Morning Show with your boy Nino and your man D Hicks, sponsored by Elite Tutoring Place on North Green River Road, giving you help with all EVSC K through 12 subjects, and B&M Electronics on Covert Avenue, fixing cell phones, TVs, stoves, refrigerators, all kind of, you know what I mean?
Right.
Got the cell phone repair now with the cracked screens and all that good stuff. Hit them up, 812-471-0642. Tell them Nino sent you, they get you fixed right on up. Got a great show for you today. We was talking about differences between being a kid, being an adult, things that you did as a kid that you can't do as an adult no more. You probably shouldn't do.
Mm-hmm. Right.
But probably wish you could do.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, some of these you still can do, you know what I mean? 'Cause
Right.
I know they were talking about running around naked. You know, a couple comments was like being able to run around naked and sit on your dad's shoulders.
Oh, wow.
Things like that. You know, so that's just some things that are kind of physically and legally impossible, for you to do as an adult that you used to do as a kid. But I was just thinking about that. I put a post up on Facebook earlier today on my personal account, the Nino Incognito page, about having to look so deep in the mirror that I had to reintroduce myself to myself.
Right.
You know, especially got these beard, got the mustache, all the stuff that had happened in the past couple of years. Sometimes, you take a look at yourself in the mirror and you're like, man, I barely recognize myself sometimes. The changes, things you do differently than you did as a kid than you do as an adult, even just 5, 10, 15 years ago, if you're that old. I know you're at least 15, 20 years old. You don't even do things 5 years ago that you did the same, especially the older you are, the more time you got to go back. You see all the kind of stuff that kind of changed and faded away, and even or evolved and adapted and became more bigger parts of your life. And I was just thinking about all the kind of stuff, things I used to do as a kid that I really don't do anymore as an adult. Because like as a kid, I used to be part of a rap group back in the day called the Government, GUV.
Government.
You know what I mean? We used to do the banging on the table, beatboxing, rap circles, all that kind of other stuff, going to the open mics and all that kind of other stuff as a kid. But I really don't do that as I ain't gonna say as an adult, but really is more as a busy man right now. I knew that my rap career wasn't going to take off like I thought it was. I still love doing it, still love listening, still love helping other rap artists and upcoming artists do their thing. But I just had to adjust my sights once I realized, it wasn't going the way it was going to go. Let me try to do something different. You know what I mean? So it's just one of those things, you try as a kid, when you're younger years, you try to give it a go to find out. Because one of my things is find something that you love to do, and then find a way to get paid doing it, And then it usually starts with things that you love doing as a kid, things that you like to play with as a kid, drawing, making clothes, all kind of making music, and then you get as an adult. Some people are lucky enough to be able to find a way to make money and make a living doing the things that they love. The basketball players, football players, all that kind of, you play those games as a kid and do those things as a kid, and you're lucky enough to find a way to get paid to do it as an adult. But some things you just don't do anymore. At least I don't do it anymore as an adult. Like play marbles. Games like that. Did you ever play marbles when you were a kid?
I think.
Because we used to, when I
was a kid, jacks, man.
You more of a jacks kid?
I'm more jacks than marbles, man.
See, I was marbles. We used to have this
little game,
collect marbles.
Circle, and then
we used to go to store and have a little right.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
And I played marbles, but I was more jacks than anything on me.
Man, I used to love getting down in there, actually making the marble trails and the holes in there and all that kind of. Man, and we used to have little obstacle courses and all kind of good stuff playing with the marble. That was just one of those games I used to play as a kid. Oh, red light, green light. Did you play that as a kid? Remember the Squid Game? Did you ever watch Squid Game? The TV show?
Never.
You still ain't watch Squid Game?
Sci-fi, blue.
Come on, man, you got it. It's not sci-fi. You got to remember, this Squid Game is not sci-fi. It's more of
I just don't.
Suspense drama. It's not.
But but you told me to watch it with the Chinese subtitle.
I would suggest watching it with the Chinese with the Chinese. I mean the Korean language with the English subtitles versus watching the overdub with the English language because you don't get the same feeling out of the same emotional inflection and all that good stuff. When they're
Right.
speaking in Korean, you can kind of get the inflection of how they're saying it in Korean and read it as you translate. That's how I like watching foreign movies a lot.
Right.
And then once I've seen it a couple times, then I'll
Then
watch
you
it in
can
the English with the
understand it
dub
in
and
the
try to
dub
watch
to
it the
see
other way.
what.
But yeah, you gotta watch. But
Right.
that was one of the games that they played in the Squid Game was the red light, green light. Did you ever play
Right.
that as a kid? Red
Yeah,
light.
yeah, yeah. We had a
Yeah.
hill that we had over by the neighborhood, and we played up this hill, red light, green light, and then if you get up to the top, it throw you back down, or it was called what was it called?
You talking about King of the Hill?
Yeah, man, I played that King of the Hill,
Are you
player.
there?
Yeah, man, throw you off the hill, player.
See, we didn't really have no hills and nothing like that to climb
Right,
on. We had
right,
like
right.
metal sliding boards in the playground. You didn't want to throw nobody off the top of that. You'd be the kid.
Gonna hurt somebody, man. But
So
yeah,
we didn't have
man.
the King of the Hill set up. So we had the red light, green light, Red Rover. Remember that? Did you ever play that game? Red
Red
Rover, Red
Rover,
Rover.
Red
Send Derek
Rover.
on over. And then
Yeah,
everybody
like
standing in the line holder, and you got to try to run
yeah,
as fast as you can to
yeah. I
break through the
remember
line.
that.
Man, there's a whole bunch of kid
But
games.
kids can comprehend those games now.
The outside doors playing kid, I don't think that's
Right,
a dying off breed right now. It's a very select few kids that you can look outside and see them like playing with a non-video game.
right,
Playing, but it's a couple kids on my block. You still got the basketball hoop on the side of my house. Every summer, me and my neighbor would sit the basketball hoop up out there in the street, let the kids come out and play. And shoot
right.
hoops. Behind the house and all that good stuff.
Hmm.
But it's very rare that you just see kids outside playing around without getting into trouble. You know what I mean?
Right.
Not just hanging out somewhere trying to figure out something dumb to do, which, most kids do. But I mean, they're not out there playing those games, baseball,
Right.
basketball, soccer, hockey, football, throw 'em up tackle. Did you ever play throw 'em up tackle, throw
No,
'em up
never heard
tag?
it. Never heard that game.
It's more of a quarterbackless version of football where it's just like three or four you on one sit and you throw the ball up and whoever get it got to run that way and everybody
Right,
else got to tackle, throw them up, tackle. You know what I mean? So it's really more of a kind of tag with football kind of thing. It's just a game that we made up.
right.
We didn't have enough people to play a full
Hey,
game.
you keep dropping stuff, player.
That was the mouse. Just keep dropping off my phone. That jump mouse keep dropping off my lap every time. But yeah, it was just that, when
Right,
there was no game, there was no real video games to play.
right. Our parents
Atari and
made us
stuff
go
was out, but
outside in summertime. I don't care how hot it was. Say, boy, get outside
man, I would beg to
and
go
come home
outside.
and come back sundown.
Man, but nowadays it's a punishment to send a kid outside.
Yeah, or to the bed.
Oh, that's punishment to send them outside now. But that was one of the things that's playing those kid games, the outside outdoor games that you really don't do as an adult. I got some that play like the softball league. You might see like the old man pickup basketball game at the Y.
Yeah. Yes.
With the smell of Ben Gay and salve in the
Yes.
hand.
Yes.
Everybody wearing knee brace or elbow brace or some kind of brace or back brace of some kind, looking like a Shaq commercial. The Shaq pain reliever commercial out there. But I mean, you really don't see too many adults out there, engaging in the outdoors activities nowadays,
Yeah,
especially
you do
in
too.
this digital age.
You still see a few people depending on where you go.
I mean, you're right. I mean, but it's not as often as it used to be back before, the pre-electronic days, before the pre-handheld, pre-cell phone days. You was outside more often than not because you just got tired, wasn't nothing to do on the inside.
Right.
So you went outside, but now that you can interact with people inside as well as you do on the outside with just a phone call or a video game or something like that, people really don't go. But like our guy Shice and Mike, they go on those walks and stuff like that, so it's very rare when you get a chance to go out, very rare when people going outside nowadays and playing those games as adults. I know another thing I used to do as a kid. Well, I can't really say that I did as a kid, as a baby I did, but I was never really the nap taker. Do you take? Well,
I took a lot of naps.
I know you. I had to stop myself before. Well, you can fall
took a
asleep
lot
in the
of
middle
naps.
of the show sometimes.
Yeah, player. Because I got up so early, man.
I know.
Man, like
4.
this morning, man, I got up about 4.
Why were you up at 4?
Couldn't sleep because it was a late night and I just couldn't sleep, bro.
Oh,
Tossed and turned.
okay, yeah, because I usually get up about 5.
Right. So I was up about 4,
start the day and
and it catch me the middle part of the morning, man. all the time, bloody
See,
man.
what I'm like a diesel engine. Once I get started, and I've always been that way as a kid. I've always had more energy than I knew what to do with. So it's
Okay.
like once I get up, I'm up. I'm like a lithium battery. Where everybody else is like Duracell or like the Dollar General alkaline. I'm
Hmm.
like that lithium battery. Once I'm charged up, I'm putting it out. Well, zoom, you know what I mean? I'm ready to go. And I've always been that way as a kid. An early riser, getting up. I want to get outside and start playing. As soon as I hear that first person come outside, so I'm the first one
The
come
first
knock
one
on the door.
outside,
You
knock on
know
your
what I
door.
mean?
What's up,
What we doing today? You know what I mean? Let's get outside. That's always been me. But I've never been the nap taker.
man? You know, great presidents took naps.
But I guess I get so, like I say, diesel engine focused.
Hmm.
Once I get going, I'm gonna go. Once I lay down, I'm down for the day.
Yeah.
So that's always been me. Once I decide that I'm down, I'm not getting back up. So you better make sure you got everything out of me that you wanted to ask me to do, whatever was gonna happen for the day, and we gonna party from the sun up to the sundown till 3 in
Sundown.
the morning.
Yeah.
Once I'm down though, I'm down. That's why naps when I think the last nap I took wasn't by choice. I told myself I was just gonna lay down for about an hour, and I think we had like a show or something we were supposed to go to, or go
Right.
see Jones or something.
Right.
Man, I woke up. It was like 2 in the morning.
Well,
That's why I don't take naps. I tried to do it one time in the afternoon. I'm like, all right, it was about 11, 12 o'clock. I woke up early that day, one of
mm,
them kind of 4:30, 5
right.
o'clock, waking up early for no reason kind of days. You know what I mean? So I just said, okay, instead of playing a video game, let me just lay down, take a nap, see what happens. Boy, I woke up, it was like 6 o'clock in the evening. I done
Yeah.
missed the whole day. So, like I say, once I'm down, I go into sleep mode. I don't really go into nap mode where I can get up. Because
Right.
if less than an hour and I wake back up, I'm cranky. I'm mad. It's because
Oh,
it took
not
me
me.
that
I'm
long.
refreshed, player.
Man, it takes me that long just to get started on a nap, let alone to be able to, get up
Right.
in an hour and still be fully functional. I'd rather just stay up for that hour,
Oh yeah, I hear you, my
you know what I mean, and
sunshine
just, and
player.
just keep it going like that.
Right. Your body tell on you though.
So yeah, naps and me, I never really, I wake up more anything under an hour when it comes to sleep. I wake up more cranky than I do. I think it
Bro,
does
I can
more.
take a 15-minute nap and be straight.
Dude, I don't see it. But see, you a coffee drinker and all that kind of. You used to getting your energy real quick, and then
Hmm.
Man, it takes me, like I say, I'm diesel engine. It takes me a lot to wind down for the day,
Right.
and it takes me kind of a lot to. Once I get up in the morning, I get going, and get to moving. And
Hmm.
just once I start moving, I need to keep moving because once I'm down for the count.
Right.
I usually get me a couple shots. I'm good for the night, and I'm
Hmm.
I'm, I'm out real
Yeah,
quick.
like a light.
Another thing I don't do as a kid, I mean, do as an adult that I used to do as a kid, take baths. Do you?
No, I take showers
Me
only.
too. I've always loved taking
Only
showers.
time I take a bath is if my back is hurting real bad and I have to soak.
And see,
But
and that's
rarely I do that though.
right. That's soaking. I don't consider that as a bath. I'm not sitting in the bath to clean myself because I have, a
Mm.
jet tub as
Oh,
well
nice.
at the
Okay.
house. You know what I mean? So I put the bubble stuff in there and bubble it up every now and then
Hmm.
to get the muscle just to relax in it for a
Right,
little bit.
right,
But
right.
it's after I've already, showered. I would shower first, get the dirt off
Get
because you
the
don't
dirt
want to
off.
be
You don't be
sitting.
laying no dirt, man.
Oh, I used to hate that as a kid, man. Because when like I say, when I get outside, when I go outside as a kid, I would get outside and play. I was
Right.
out there in the dirt, like you say, how sassy was the other day out there in the mud and doing all that kind.
Yeah, man.
That was me, boy. I had two sets of wardrobe as a kid. I had my play clothes and
And
I
you
had
had
my
your good
school clothes.
clothes.
You know
Right,
what
right,
I mean?
right,
I didn't wear the play clothes to school, and I didn't wear my school clothes outside to play. Mama made
right,
sure of that because
right.
when I went out there to play,
You was ready to play when you
man, we
jump.
was getting down and dirty in the mud. You know what I mean? If you didn't come in the house with a couple bruises and some dirt all over, you didn't go outside and play. You didn't do nothing.
Right.
That's all that was. So, but taking a bath, oh, I couldn't stand seeing that dirt film and all that kind of other stuff. See, and
Yeah,
I grew
around
up,
the ring around the tub.
oh, dude. And I was lucky enough that my next oldest brother above me was 9 years older than me. So I never had to go through that sharing bath water kind of thing.
Right now,
Which
that's nasty.
when I knew a lot of my buddies had to do that, Joe, back in the day in the projects in Chicago, man. You know what I mean? You had to be parched with that water, that hot water supply. Because
Right.
that whole row was using the same water boiler in the back trying to get all that hot water. So you had to be careful with that. But the first shower I took, I remember was at my aunt's house.
Using heaven when you're on.
Dude, when you pulled the little knob up from the faucet, it was like
Right.
attached to the bottom of out the spout of the tub, and you pulled the little knob up on the thing in the
Mhm.
shower. I was like, oh! I'm telling you, and I
Right.
never looked back. I always seen showers on TV and you see the white people rubbing the soap on their bodies, which I never did. I never got into that part of rubbing
Nah,
the soap
man.
directly on your body. I always had the face towel, some kind of scrub towel or brush or something. I never rubbed because once again you sharing soap. I had to share soap with my mother.
Okay. Right,
But
right, right.
we ain't getting into that rubbing the soap directly on your body thing. You use a face towel, washcloth, whatever you do, you put lather it up, then you rub that all over your body.
Right, right, right.
But baths, I always felt like once I stood up out the water that the dirt came with me. You know what I mean? You want to kind of push the dirt out of the way before you stand up. So you got,
Right.
man. So I've always loved taking showers. So taking baths, I don't do that anymore as an adult, unless, like you say, soaking or using the
Yeah,
jet tub,
right,
but
right,
not
right.
to clean
Not just
myself.
clean
Not like
now.
that. Somebody put in saying watch cartoons. And I gotta disagree with that one.
I still watch
I
cartoons.
still watch mad cartoons.
Right, I watch certain cartoons.
And it's a different style of cartoon that I watch,
Yeah, you
as
watch
an
the
adult.
anime though.
Right, but I still
Right.
watch actually like what they still consider cartoons like American Dad. You ever watch that?
Yeah, it was a tripped out show, wasn't it, man?
Family Guy.
Right, right,
That
right.
kind of, I watch those kind of cartoons, adult oriented cartoons. I'm not going back, watching like Thundercats, SpongeBob SquarePants and none of that kind of stuff. You know what I mean?
SpongeBob's alright, homie.
SpongeBob.
SpongeBob actually has grown up conversations if you pay attention to it.
And see, and I'm pre SpongeBob. I was Sesame Street. I didn't do SpongeBob. I didn't, I
Man,
wasn't the
SpongeBob be
SpongeBob Bob the
tripping.
Builder. My
Right.
kids did that. You know what I mean? That Caillou. Ooh, I used to hate that show. You remember? Do you ever have with your kids?
On Cartoon Network, tell you?
No, this was
Never
on
heard
like
of it.
PBS.
Never
There's a
heard of
little
it.
bald head white little boy that was like he couldn't be told no. Every time he was told no, he started whining and make this annoying. Oh, I used
I
to
never heard
hate
it.
that because my kids started imitating that. Man, I banned that show from my house. No, you cannot watch that show here. Caillou will not be shown.
Right.
I can't stand no whiny, whimpering little kid like that. Oh my god, I couldn't take that. But cartoons like the anime, like I just got to watching He-Man and the Masters of the Universe, the remake. Did you ever watch He-Man? Were you no, you about 5 years past He-Man.
He-Man was out though.
But did
The
you ever
original
but you're not a
though.
science fiction.
I'm not in
fan.
science fiction. I'm not into it. I can't get into it unless it's
So
King Kong or Godzilla. That's only science fiction I'm getting on.
They got a new Masters of the Universe on Netflix that takes place after, like, immediately after, like, the 80s, 90s version of the He-Man. Because they had, like, all kind of other stuff going on, different kind of versions of the cartoon that just really didn't take off. So they decided to do, like, instead of a reboot, they just took it over where the 90s original TV show left off. But the themes in the show are very adult oriented. They dealing with the LGBTQ issues. They deal with divorce. They deal with adoption and parent abandonment. And I mean, I'm telling you, the themes in the show is crazy. So I used to just think back in the day, just He-Man versus Skeletor, bad versus good. Thing.
That's how it was broadcast
But
to
now
us though.
the storylines on like the adult, like I said, the adult themed cartoons, you can do more with a cartoon to me than you can with a live action show. Even these live action shows that are trying to imitate the cartoons, like our X-Men's and the Marvel universes and the Spider-Man's, you can do so much more with a well-drawn and well-animated cartoon that will take off, because it's like more popular anime cartoons in the world than there are with the live action shows.
Oh wow.
One of the most popular TV shows in Japanese anime, you got Bleach and this other one called was it JoJo's Crazy Adventure, and My Hero Academia. That's what it is.
Okay.
About these teenagers, like the world, everybody's got superpowers. You're trying to learn. You go to school to learn how to use those superpowers, just like you would go to elementary school to learn math. And you're the oddball if you don't have superpowers. And they deal with bullying, figuring
Okay, got you.
lesbian, gay issue, teen, sexuality, all kind. So I mean,
Right,
they get real deep with the adult thing hidden behind these animated shows that a lot of people are just throwing off as cartoons.
right.
So I
Then all
say
those
I still watch
cartoons.
cartoons. I won't put that on on my list of things that
Right.
did as a kid that you don't do as an adult. But I know a lot of people they got away from the cartoons. They don't watch cartoons anymore. No
No
Flintstones.
cartoons, no
No,
Flintstones,
man. I
no
think y'all missing out on
no
a lot.
Looney Tunes.
Man, I'm telling you, I think we're missing out on a lot when we take cartoons, take the imagination out of it. So I'll put one thumb up and one thumb down on that one. Don't watch
Right.
cartoons as an adult. The last thing on the list of the 5 things that you don't do as an adult that you used to do as a kid, trick or treating. Did you go trick or treating as a kid? Did you like dressing up in the costumes as a kid and going trick or treating door to door?
Man, we really didn't do. I know we only went to family members' houses.
Really?
Yeah, man, cause back then, man, they're throwing razor blades and apples, and doing all that old monkey stuff, bro.
Yeah, and I
And my mom, they was kind of, they're doing some dumb stuff.
and like I said, that was kind of one of the advantages
Hmm.
of living in the communal project, the
Right,
row house project. I didn't live in the high rise project. I lived in the row house projects. So everybody kind of knew everybody. So I could just go up and down the row on just my little block, hit about 30, 40 houses and come back with a bag full of candy. I
right,
didn't have to go out into strange areas or walk through the neighborhood strange,
right, right,
like
right.
I say, it was basically family, quote unquote family.
Hmm.
People I've known, family known, mama hang out with. So we just all walked around to each other's houses. All the
Right,
kids
right,
just made
right,
their little trip. Some kids had more of a range to go around the neighborhood than others. I was just stuck to my little block, where my mama could see me.
right, right,
Doing
right.
my trick or treating age. I think I stopped trick or treating about, I want to say 12.
You grown, homie.
I was about 12, maybe
You was
11, 12
grown,
years
man. Still
old.
trick or treating at 12.
Cause I wasn't in no, I take it back. I must have been about 10 because I wasn't in middle school yet. Because I remember I used to go to middle school in Hyde Park at Kenwood Academy
Okay.
in Hyde Park, Chicago.
Mm,
But I know I had trick or treat. The last time I went trick or treat, my mom had made me. This is when mom had really got into the religious stuff. She had
mm,
made me dress up as started making me dress up like Bible characters
right.
for like the past couple of years. So like age 8 to 10, I was like David, Samson.
How'd you feel, player?
I didn't. It's not like I didn't mind. It was a little awkward because you got to explain who the character is. You know what I
Right,
mean?
right,
You
right,
could once I say who I was. I one year I was David as from David and Goliath, but I had the slingshot. I made a little
right,
toga. I had a couple little sheets like old school, kind of like
right.
Hebrew toga wrapped around. Had the little thing on my head, and I had a little rope slingshot
Oh
and a
wow.
little bag.
And that was it, wasn't it?
It was David from the Bible, you know what I mean?
Right,
And people around the neighborhood knew my mother as the religious lady and all that good stuff.
right,
And it was kind of like almost a contrast of interest
right,
of being a Christian and celebrating Halloween, All Hallows Eve, which a lot of Christian beliefs consider that to be like a devil's holiday and all that. When you
right.
start getting all that kind of religious aspect. So she tried to play the best of both worlds. Okay, if you want to go out here and act with some trick or treat and do some candy, you're gonna do it as a Bible character. So you're not gonna
Yeah.
do it as no
None of
devil
the
or no
rest of the
demon or
devil,
none of that
right.
kind of stuff. You're gonna do
Hey,
it. So as I was David one year, and I was Solomon the next year, and then I was like an Indian or something, like a native from and then that was like it for me. I was like, no more trick or treating after
right.
that. I started getting interested in girls and
Hmm.
all that kind of other stuff. So that was the end of my trick or treating days for that. So anything else you can think of that you didn't, used to do as a kid that you don't do anymore?
Yeah, man. Tie strings on June bugs.
What the hell?
On the legs, man. And we used to have the. Yeah, man.
What the?
As a little kid,
That's some
man.
Kentucky thing right there.
Oh,
I ain't
yeah,
never heard
bro.
it. That's like cow tipping. What is that?
Now, I've never been cow tipping, have you?
No.
You never
I ain't
been
never
cow
even seen a
tipping?
cow in real life, honestly.
Never seen a cow in
I've
real life.
never seen a cow
Oh, we gotta
in
go to
real
the.
life. And
Oh,
I've been to
man.
zoos, but I've never
Right,
been to farms. Like I've seen them like in long distance, like on people's
right.
property,
People property
but
and
I've
things
never
like
been
that.
up close and personal and
Yeah,
seen
man. We
a.
used to tie the strings on the June bug legs,
Now, what
man.
is a June bug?
You never seen a June bug?
No,
It's a
what's
green bug, man, and they get about that big, and we would tie the strings on them, and they would just fly around, player.
what's the purpose of tying the strings on the legs?
That is what we did. That's what we did, homie. They did fly around with string, man. You let them just fly around with a string,
You
man.
tied their legs together so they couldn't walk, or did you just tie a string
Now
around
they
one of the
flew
legs?
around, just one of the legs.
So you
Yeah,
didn't
you
like
let
incapacitate or cripple the
nah,
bug. I
man,
was like,
cripple the
man, what
bug,
kind of
homie.
cruel, just useful
You ever
punishment
seen
is
a
this?
June bug?
I don't know. I ain't never seen that. I've heard the phrase. I've heard the term June bug. Like I say,
June bug.
I've been down here in Evansville for like 20 years now, but I've just not seen more of Evansville in these past, 3 weeks driving than I've seen in 20 years down here in
Right.
Evansville. All kind of parts
Wow.
and that I didn't even know around Evansville existed. So hey, you learn something new every day. So I guess Junetime stranger enough June.
Right.
Let us know. Name something that you used to do as a kid that you don't do as an adult anymore. Leave a comment on our Facebook page, facebook.com/live999WJCB. Or hit us up, 812-303-5018. It's Urban Revolution Radio's Your Morning Show with your boy Nino and Junebug D. Hicks. Sponsored by Tutoring Place and B&M Electronics.